Welcome in, everybody, to the high noon edition of Pugs Moran being a narcissist for a couple of hours. That's what this is every day, Monday through Friday. I sit right here at my little desk in the comfort nest high above the One Percenter compound in beautiful Highland Park, Texas, and I give you everything that's happening in the world. If it's a headline, you're getting it. If it's a trending topic, you're getting it. If it's something that people are talking about, we're going to talk about it here. That's what this is about. It's a cheat sheet for your day. Anything and everything that people are buzzing about, I'm going to give it to you here. I'm going to give you the topic, hot take, and then we're going to move on. It's very quick. It's very, we don't spend too much time on any one particular issue, which is good for you, because if you're just like, oh, this is boring, just hold your breath. And by the time you turn blue, we'll be on to the next topic. That's a promise from me to you. Hi, Byron. Hi, Steven. People are filling up in the chat room. We have a chat room here. We like for you. I've been noticing that, we have more listeners than we do chatters. So, if you're people who are out there just listening, that's fine. The chat room is a welcoming environment. Actually, I'm trying to make it a welcoming environment, but I fear that our chat room squatters, and that's what I call you, squatters, although I'm happy to have you squatting, I fear that many of them are not quite as welcoming to the new. Will's here! Not quite as welcoming to the new kids as maybe we'd like. First day at school, that's what the chat room's like. It's like first day at school. You walk in like 5 minutes late. Class has already started because you had to spend the first 5 minutes down in the principal's office. And then they walk you down to the classroom and the door opens and the teacher's like, oh, we have a new student. And then everybody's looking at you. That's kind of what I'm trying to avoid with the chat room. So be nice. I need you people to be welcoming in the chat room. I'd love to have a raucous, this air conditioning is going to kill me. It's cold. I'm already wearing like a flannel shirt today because I was cold. And I'm like, why am I cold? Because the air conditioning's on. What is the temperature here in North Texas today? Let's see. Let's check that out. You people in the chat room are always quicker than I am. So if you want to chime in with what the temperature is. Let's see here. April, no. You are super welcoming. You do not use the royal we. It's only 75. All right, I got to turn the air down. I'm sorry. I got the air cranking. I like it cold when I sleep. The air should not be on. Let me turn it off. I am freezing. Look, I got a blanket. Hold on. Be right back. Only interruption of the night. I promise. Day, whatever. All right. See, that was easy. That was not difficult at all. Now we'll get started. Yesterday it was so hot here. It was almost 90 degrees. I share the 1%. Actually, I don't share. I exist here in the 1%er guest house because of my friend who owns the property. And I call him the yachtsman this time of year because he went out on the boat yesterday. He called me after the show. He's like, you want to go out on the boat? And I'm like, it's March, dude. I'm sorry. I understand this is Texas, but I have a Midwestern brain and it's March. So no, I don't want to go out on the boat. But he went out on the boat yesterday. It was beautiful. It was hot. Look, I even got sunburn on my head from running, but that's from over the weekend. All right, so there we go. We've established the weather. There you go. Your weather. It's 76 and kind of gray today. Kind of gray. Will says we've got a real attitude problem here in the chat room. Keep our names out of your mouth. I will. Forewarned, Will. Forewarned. As I say, this is the high noon stream. We do 2 streams a day. The Pillow Talk stream comes on at 9 p.m. Central Time every night. Pillow Talk, myself, James Parker, Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. And last night we had a special guest. So if you missed the show, you can go to the pugscast.com link. It's the YouTube page, but it takes you directly there. So just pugscast.com. can go to the pugscast.com link, and you can hear me and Parker and our special guest for the evening, my former radio partner, Kelly Moore. Kelly Moore Close. I want to give credit where credit is due. She's going to be joining the show every Monday evening. It'll be Pugs, Parker, and Kelly. I would call it Pugs and Kelly with James Parker, but that's the past. That's the past. We will create something new, and we'll see how that goes. So if you missed it, if you want to hear from Kelly, you can go ahead and you can go to pugscast.com and you can hear her. It was her birthday, so there were two reasons why I had her on. Well, first of all, she's always welcome. It's just, she's been going through some stuff, and she kind of explained that last night to some degree. I mean, she's always invited. People think that we're like Opie and Anthony or something, like we hate each other. We don't. We just we're people, and we just have different lives. And we worked together for almost 20 years, so we're fine. Trust me, she's like a sister to me, so we're good. But we had her on because it was her birthday. I thought this is a good excuse for me to put pressure on her to come on. Hey, it's your birthday. Now do something I want. That's pretty consistent with how our relationship has always been. And also it was the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. I knew that she had takes, and I wanted to hear, her thoughts on the whole Chris Rock, Will Smith thing. So, if you missed it last night on the Pillow Talk show, you can go back after this show, after you get prepped up for the day, you can go back and you can listen to last night's Pillow Talk show, which features Kelly. And I just called her blind. I just called her and made her talk for like an hour. So she wasn't on camera because she wasn't prepared for all that. But I was actually prepared for it to go to voicemail. I really wasn't sure if she was going to pick up or not, because I gave her a heads up. I said, this is all I said. This was the full communication that we had. Hey, happy birthday. She texts back, thank you. And then I text back, I'm calling you at 9:15 tonight. You're going to be on the live stream. You can let it go to voicemail if you're a coward. And that was it. And she picked up. So that was good. Fully expected it to go to voicemail because I didn't think she wants to really be doing this. But she was great. So again, pugscast.com if you want to hear that. All right, let's talk about today. Today is March the 29th. It's the 88th day of the year. Let's see, 277 days remain until the end of the year. What is today? What are we celebrating today? What's the big deal about today? How are we supposed to be living our lives on this day? Well, I'll tell you, first of all, we're supposed to be eating it's lemon cake day. No, it's not lemon cake day. It's National Lemon Chiffon Cake Day. I'm going to pass. I don't like lemon with my... I guess I like lemonade to some extent, but lemons are like the thug of fruit. They are just... Pineapples are also kind of the thug of fruit. I mean, pineapples have the spikes on them, so they're representing from the get-go. But lemons tear the crap out of my stomach. Lemons, I have an allergy. From what I understand from birth, I was like allergic to everything. But one of the things that I can't have a whole lot of is citrus. Like I can't, if I drink a glass of orange juice, I better have, coated my stomach with like Maalox or eaten like 15 Tums before I drink a glass of orange juice, because I'm going to have some stomach aches, bad stomach aches after that. Pineapple is the worst. And God, the way he works, pineapple might be my favorite flavor on the planet. If there is a flavor, if there is something that my taste buds like more than anything else, it's pineapple juice, pineapple, whatever. And of course, I can't have pineapple. I can have pineapple like once a year, but again, there has to be preparation. I have to make sure that my stomach is completely coated. Oranges, lemons, pineapples, limes, they kill me. So, National Lemon Chiffon Cake Day. I don't know. I know it's more sweet than it is sour, but still, I'm going to pass. And yet I love key lime pie. Lemons and limes are not the same thing. No, I know they're not the same thing, schizophrenic me. It's just that they're both like, they're like brothers in the fruit kingdom, right? Lemons and limes. They go together, lemon and lime. They're like, Stepbrothers. They're like stepbrothers. It's also National Mom and Pop Business Owners Day. All right. All right. Get behind that. I love a good mom and pop business, except when, you have to pay like, way more for stuff because mom and pop stuff is way more expensive. It's not mom and pop's fault. Mom and pop aren't greedy. It's just that mom and pop don't buy in the bulk orders that, the big box stores or whatever buy in. So, yeah. So you're going to pay like 75 cents more for a can of olives. Olives? I don't know. It's the first thing that came to my mind. I just said olives. So go support your mom and pop. You can support this mom and pop business. We're at the end of the month, guys. In the first couple of weeks of the shows here in the month, I try not to pitch too hard for the fact that we do exist on your support and we do appreciate your support. But we're at the end of the month, and we could definitely need it. We're about $200 short this month, so if we could somehow raise that much money over the next 4 days, I guess. That would be great. So donate to the show if you can. Donate if you can. It's that time of the month. It's crunch time, and it's so stressful. It is so I love doing the show, and I will continue doing the show. I will continue doing the show until the power gets cut off and the internet goes away and we just can't do it anymore. But I will continue with all of my might doing the show, no matter what. No matter what. Had some personal news. We had a little bit of a setback in a plan that we had. We were working on a plan that was going to subsidize this show without the listener needing to be involved. We had a little bit of a setback. It's not over, but just a bit of a setback. So it is a bit more stressful this week than it has been in the past. National Nevada Day. It's National Nevada Day. Okay, so what is that? Was today like the day Nevada became in 2017, National Day calendar began celebrating each state in the order they entered the Union. Starting the week of Independence Day and ending with Hawaii, we highlight a small part of each state's history. Yeah. Okay. So on this day, let's see. On this day, what year? Oh, no, it didn't. Okay, so this is stupid. So we're celebrating Nevada Day on March, or do you say Nevada? Nevada. On March 29th, we celebrate Nevada Day, but Nevada became a state on October 31st, 1864. So, all right, I'm already bored with this topic. Let's move out of that. Who cares about National Nevada Day? And it's on National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Okay, so there you go. These are our parents and our grandparents' war. For most of us, unless we're much older, then it's our war. But this is the war that many of our parents and many of our grandparents were forced to fight in, and the Vietnam veteran. The Vietnam veteran has been the most shit on veteran in the history of America's wars. And it's an absolute crime. It's an absolute outrage. This was a draft, no less. This was like the last draft. These guys weren't like, yeah, let's go kill some, people. No, these people were just dragged out of their lives and thrown into a war that was, no need for politics on it. Whether or not you think that the Vietnam War was a real war that all of these American kids needed to die in is your thing. And maybe I have a different thing, but it's National Vietnam War Veterans Day. So keep a good thought for everybody who sacrificed during that. We'll call it a war. Although even the government only called it a police action. What, really? Because what's the difference between a police action and a war? I mean, the bodies come back in the same boxes, right? I mean, there's no real difference. At least to the people who died, give them the credit that it was a war. It was, don't try and parse it. Don't try and make it seem like it was something less than it was. It was a war, and an entire generation was forced to go over there and fight for some policy that probably wasn't even well thought out to begin with. Now you're speaking extemporaneously on the Vietnam War, which is not something that you need to be doing here in High Noon. I know, thank you. But there you go. They were heroes. They were forced into a situation. Stop it! All right, it's National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Give them some love. Let's talk about some birthdays. We got birthdays to celebrate today. Born on this day in 1943. One of the greats. Eric Idle. Eric Idle. Eric Idle. God, is he great? Monty Python's Flying Circus. Eric Idle is, it's so hard when you look at like the Monty Python guys. And by the way, I totally recognize you either completely get, appreciate, and admire and worship what Monty Python did, or you don't get it. I don't get it. I don't like that British humor. Well, I happen to be in the former. I think that they were absolutely brilliant. And Monty Python cast member draft. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because I don't know how I could choose between Eric Idle, Michael Palin, and John Cleese. I don't know how I couldn't do a draft. I couldn't do a Monty Python cast member draft. But happy birthday, Eric Idle. You were born on this day in 1943. 79? I think he's 79 years old. Hey, John Cleese. John Cleese was trending on Sunday. We don't do a show on Sunday, so. John Cleese is so funny. John Cleese. People get mad at John Cleese for being John Cleese, the guy that he's been. John Cleese in Monty Python was trending for, at this time, a reason that the lefties would like. Because sometimes John Cleese trends for reasons that the righties like. Remember this whole thing where you're either on the right or the left in this country, but in reality, most of us are actually in the middle, but we all pretend to be either on the far right or the far left because, teams. He said he made some comment about the Dunning-Kruger Effect, which the Dunning. First of all, John Cleese is brilliant. He's just such a smart guy. The Dunning-Kruger Effect was a late 90s study that determined. Well, I'll put it to you this way. I was explaining it to my son on Sunday because I was scrolling through something and I laughed, and he said, "What are you laughing at?" And I showed him the video, and he said, "What's the Dunning-Kruger Effect?" And I started to explain it to him, and I said, "All right, you know what? I could explain it to you, but for your generation, it's probably better summed up as the hold my beer phenomena." That's basically what the Dunning-Kruger Effect is. The Dunning-Kruger Effect is a study that was done that determined that people with absolutely no knowledge or ability of a specific action will convince themselves that they are capable of being expert level at that action. So it's like the hold my beer thing. It's like, well, that rope doesn't look like I could swing across that river and not hit the wall. Hold my beer. I think I could do it. It's that whole thing. It's a cognitive dissonance. It is a belief that you are better at something than you have any right thinking that you're better of. An example is I had a buddy in high school. His name was Kurt, and we used to have this running joke because he used to always say, like, he would see something somebody does amazing. All right, Evel Knievel jumps over 30 cars. He would watch Evel Knievel jump off 30 cars, and he would inevitably say, "Give me 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks and I can do that. I'm not impressed." That's the Dunning-Kruger effect. The thought that, you could do something. So John Cleese was trending for the Dunning-Kruger Effect. He made a statement regarding Fox News, saying that all the people on Fox News suffer from the Dunning-Kruger Effect. which again, a lot of times the left hates John Cleese because he says really mean things that are John Cleese-y funny, and they don't get it because they're humorless. And then sometimes he says things that the right gets mad at because he says John Cleese-y things that they don't. Anyway, happy birthday, Eric Idle. You're very funny too. Born on this day in 1955, Earl Campbell, one of the great Texas football players of all time. Ate at Earl Campbell barbecue down there at the Austin airport once. Earl Campbell, I remember a parody song when I was little to the tune of Betty Davis Eyes. The song was Earl Campbell Thighs. Earl Campbell Thighs. I don't know what happened with Earl Campbell's career. I mean, it was a pretty good career, don't get me wrong. But there was like a period in time where the most dominant running backs in the NFL, it's probably for a year or two, the most dominant running backs in the NFL were Tony Dorsett, Earl Campbell, and Walter Payton. And it was always like, oh my God, these guys, anytime these guys touch the ball, you got to pay attention. Earl Campbell celebrating a birthday today. Born UT, hook 'em horns, UT, Houston Oilers. Earl Campbell, born on this day in 1955. Great Irish actor Brendan Gleason, also born on this day in 1955. Brendan Gleason. What has Brendan Gleason been in? Brendan Gleason's been in a bunch of things. We don't have time for it. 1959, born on this day, Perry Farrell. That's right. American singer, songwriter, and musician, activist, creator of Lollapalooza, former frontman of Jane's Addiction, former frontman of Porno for Pyros. Do you guys remember Porno for Pyros? You remember that band? That was like when Jane's Addiction broke up, Perry Farrell created a new band called Porno for Pyros. It's alliteratively, it was a cool name, Porno for Pyros. I like that. You know, I, of course, do host the Pugs and Parker Proudly Present Pillow Talk show. So, you know that I would be down for Porno for Pyros. I like that. They had that song Pets. Porno for Pyro Pets was the name of the song. It was it posited that we human beings, if the aliens ever came down here, would make great pets to the aliens. It was a fun song. I like it. I don't know that Porno for Pyros ever did anything else. We'd make great pets. We'd make great pets. We'd make great pets. That was a good song, Pets. Yeah, we'll see. Porno for Pyros was great. Fast Outdoor Food says John Riggins. Nah, John Riggins was not in league with Peyton, Campbell, and Dorsett. John Riggins was great, but wasn't John Riggins a fullback anyway? He's just a fullback. John Riggins was great for 3 yards. You needed 3 yards, man. You give it to Riggs. He just blow right through. But Riggins didn't really break anything, you know. There was no opening, and Riggins went 70 yards down the sideline. That wasn't really. Although I am a Riggins fan, don't get me wrong. I loved watching him in the Super Bowl. Boy, you get them hogs up front for them old Washington Redskin teams. Theismann hands the ball off to Riggins, touchdown every time, guaranteed. Let's see here. Oh my God. God was having a good day on this day in 1964. He was having a day. Have a day, Lord. He made one, and then he went, I got leftover parts, and I got some ideas. So and he put them on 2 different hemispheres. He made 2 women on this day who are just phenomenal. He put one in one hemisphere and the other in the other. And it was just like, I'm going to spread this out. You know what? I have pretty much perfected the female form. So I'm going to put one here, and then, man, I got extras left over. I'm going to make another one. Oh my God, look at this. This one's even better than the first one. And I'll put this one over here. Both born on this day in 1964. Victoria's Secret model and wife of Harry Connick Jr., Jill Goodacre. Google her if you don't know who she is. Jill Goodacre. What a beautiful woman. And then after he made Jill Goodacre, he decided Australia needed one, so he gave us Elle Macpherson. Elle Macpherson and Jill Goodacre. What a day. God was hot that day. Then he took 4 years off, and in 1968 on this day, he made Lucy Lawless, and he gave that to the Australians. That's right. I like Lucy Lawless. Xena, Warrior Princess. I never watched Xena, Warrior Princess when it was on, but I knew who she was because I was a heterosexual male. I knew who Lucy Lawless was. Don't need to see Xena. Don't need to watch that. Don't need to watch this 6-foot Amazonian fabulous babe on a horseback clad in all leather bustier, by the way. I'm not entirely sure that was practical or functional back in the time of Xena, but whatever. Looked good on TV, apparently. Looked good on posters. A lot of guys in college had posters of Xena, Warrior Princess. Why not? But I loved Lucy Lawless when she did what they call a story arc on Curb Your Enthusiasm, where she dated Larry. Larry got to date Lucy Lawless. It was awesome. Happy birthday, Lucy Lawless. Happy birthday, Jill Goodacre. Happy birthday, Elle Macpherson. And Perry Farrell, Brendan Gleason, Earl Campbell, and Eric Idle. That's a good day. This is a good day for birthdays. Look at those. Those are all people that in one way, shape, or form I appreciate. Dead on this day. Died on this day in 2016. We're just going to give you one. Yesterday we gave you none. Patty Duke. Patty Duke died on this day in 2016. The Patty Duke Show, where she played identical cousins. She played 2 roles. We talked about Patty Duke a couple of weeks back on the Pillow Talk show. Patty Duke got around. Patty Duke, like Sean Astin, you know Sean Astin, Rudy. We know Sean Astin as Rudy. He's who else was Sean? Was Sean Astin anybody else? Is Sean Astin E from Entourage, or am I wrong on that? For some reason, I think anyway, Sean Astin was like the son of John Astin, who was Gomez Addams on the Addams Family, because he was married to Patty Duke, but Patty Duke was having affairs. So for a while, Sean Astin wasn't. I don't remember. We figured it out on Pillow Talk, like who Sean Astin's father really was, like his biological father. But it was like Patty Duke Astin had like 3 dudes. Patty Duke had like 3 dudes that she was juggling while she was married to John Astin. And because Sean Astin was born when she was married to John Astin, he got the Astin name. But I don't think we're sure about he's naughty. I don't know. Byron says that Patty Duke was Kim K in the 90s. Sean Astin's Rudy. I knew that. He's not E though, but he kind of looks like E, right? Like, isn't that like kind of the same? Anyway, Sean Astin's Rudy. You don't need to be more than Rudy. Rudy. Getting time for me to watch that movie with my kid again. All part of my very methodical plan to program my son to be a mindless meathead Notre Dame fan. So we're going to have to watch Rudy again. All right, let's get into what is trending. Yeah, that's right. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I don't care. I know that they're a polarizing team. You either love them with all your heart or you despise them with every bone in your body. But hey, trending today. All right, so we're going to burn through these because these are unavoidable top trends. Yeah, JBM says that's what it was. Patty Duke also told Desi Arnaz Desi Arnaz was the dad, right? Desi Arnaz Jr. was the son of Lucy and Desi Arnaz. And I don't know, whatever. Adam, Rudy was offsides. How dare you? Don't suck my energy. Merrick Garland is trending. That's a big thing is trending right now. Breaking news. Attorney General Merrick Garland announces that he's prepared to prosecute Trump and every Republican who tried to steal the election by stopping the peaceful transfer of power. He won't avoid politically sensitive cases. Okay, whatever. All right, but that comes on the heel of Representative Zoe Lofgren, I believe is her name. She's on the January 6th committee. She kind of issued a blistering statement yesterday about, okay, we've done our job. And, she basically threw the ball hard at Merrick Garland in the Attorney General's office, who have been, to a lot of people, I'm staying a bit neutral on this, just watching this whole thing play out. Don't want to rush any kind of a process. If nothing happens, nothing happens. But look, the Mueller report basically sapped all of my energy. That went on for way too long. It was like, all right, so all that was for nothing. All right, moving on. Let's just move on. Garland has also, in the last week, hired 131 new attorneys to work on this particular case. And people are still saying he's not moving fast enough. I don't know. Whatever. Also, a federal judge. This is all under the Merrick Garland. And a federal judge yesterday. I don't have it in front of me. He basically said, we have enough here to prosecute. Blah blah blah. There are criminal charges. Whatever. Okay. Also, on the January 6th tip, the investigation, burner is trending. Burner phone is trending. Breaking news, CBS News and the Washington Post have obtained White House records turned over to the House January 6th committee, which shows a gap in President Donald Trump's phone logs of 7 hours and 37 minutes on January 6th. So just so happens to be the 7 hours and 37 minutes that the incident, we'll call, was occurring. So, phone records, White House phone records are supposed to be preserved for posterity. They're supposed to be something that historians can look back on and see the minute by minute decisions that were made by a president of the United States. And it's illegal for them not to be noted and logged and recorded in most cases. So surprise, surprise, what we're finding out is that all of the pertinent time frame that would be important for whatever the hell is going on now is missing. It's missing. And burner is trending because people are like, they were using burners. These people were basic criminals. They were using burners. Of course, they're not going to use these White House phone lines to do things that they know damn well may or may not have been illegal. I don't know. I don't want to go into it. When asked for a response on the 7-hour gap in his phone logs on January 6th, former President Trump said, "I have no idea what a burner phone is. To the best of my knowledge, I have never even heard of them." Okay. Whatever. Moving on. Russia is trending. Breaking. A Russian official says Moscow has decided to cut back operations near Kyiv and Chernihiv to, quote, increase trust at talks aimed at ending the fighting. The statement comes as Russia and Ukraine had another round of talks in Istanbul. This is interesting because this is a very notable change in the attitude of the Russians. These talks now about this war have been going on for the better part of a month. And in the beginning of the war, it was very, there was a lot of arrogance coming from the Russian side. Don't make us steamroll, you punks. Don't make us roll in there and just we're going to just come in, we're going to take it, and you bitches are just going to bend over. That was basically Russia's attitude. And then some really bad shit started happening to the Russians. They're learning the lesson that apparently they did not learn in Afghanistan, and that is it's hard to win in an away game. It is hard to go on the road and conquer a people, especially in this age of technology and the ability of the regular people to fight back with the aid of a globe that is outraged by the actions of one aggressor. So Russia's been taking it on the chin. I mean, we're going on a month now, maybe even more. And I mean, I was doing live updates the first 4 or 5 days of the war because it seemed like it was going to be quick. It was promised that it was going to be quick. And then it wasn't. Then it was just stalled out. And then we were all waiting on that 30-mile-long convoy outside of Kyiv that was supposed to be the Russians' big attack to take the capital city and basically replace the government and put in their own government. Well, that 30-mile convoy just got incrementally picked apart. They ran out of gas. They ran out of food. All kinds of problems. 14 of the highest-ranking Russian field commanders have been killed. These are generals. These are colonels. These are people who command units. They've been picked off one by one. And now, here we go. If you remember the very first meeting, Russia said, all right, we'll meet, but here are our demands. You give up. You give us everything. You don't die. That was the first meeting. And now here we are a month or so later, and they're saying that we've decided to cut back our operations because we want to increase trust that are aimed at ending the fighting. They want to end it now, but they want to end it with a little bit of honor. The Russians are embarrassed. Putin is in trouble. The people are turning on him. This is not going the way that he had thought it would. And now they want to end the fighting. But they want to end the fighting with some semblance of, I don't even want to call it honor, but they just don't want to be completely embarrassed. So this is big news. It is big news. And we're going to cut back our operations. No, go ahead. Keep going. How's it going for you? Don't cut back. That's basically what Zelensky said. Now, come on, bring it. What do you got left? We understand you're running on empty. Come on. Don't cut back. Don't do us any favors. Keep coming. Come on. So that's happening. So that's interesting. That's very big news. We don't talk much about the Russian-Ukraine conflict, but this is big breaking news today. FDA is also trending. And I promise this is the last of the straight boring news that we'll get into. Then we'll get into all the fun stuff that's happening today that people are talking about. The FDA on Tuesday, the federal federal regulators at the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's authorized a second booster shot for the Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines for everyone 50 and older. The FDA also approved a second booster shot for some individuals at least 12 years and older with certain immune deficiencies, such as people who have received organ transplants. The New York Times reported both groups, per the FDA, can receive the additional jab at least 4 months after getting their first booster. Okay. So I got my booster on December 10th. Got my booster on January 10th. Or December 10th to January 10th to February 10th to March 10th. So I'm 10 days out from being able to get my second booster. Nope. Sorry. I'm all full. I have been good. I got my vax. Then I got my second shot. Then I got my booster. I'm all shotted out. The booster kicked my ass. I thought I was going to die. I thought I hadn't been as sick from the booster as I haven't felt that sick in decades. Decades I haven't had that level of a flu or whatever the hell it was that it gave me. Now, granted, it only lasted 36 hours, but that was 36 hours of absolute hell. I'm not there yet, people. I am not ready to even tempt the devil with another booster shot. I'm sorry. I just can't. I'll still wear my mask, whatever. What? No! I still have my mask hanging from my my mirror. But, even, I don't know, maybe... Oh, God. I don't want to get another booster. All right, moving on. I don't want another booster. That's not to say that you people shouldn't get it. I'm just saying that from personal experience, all of the shots were fine. They were all fine right up until that first booster. And then I just got my ass kicked by it. It was terrible. Conservative orgy is trending. Whee! Conservative orgy. What's a conservative orgy? Just everybody doing it in missionary position? What is a conservative orgy? Just all white people missionary with white people, black people missionary with black people. You got Herman Cain or whoever. Is Herman Cain dead? Is he dead? He might be. Anyway, Paris Denard having sex with another black. That's a conservative orgy. No. Why is conservative orgy trending? Well, the madman, that's what I like to call him, wheelchair Tom Brady, Madison Cawthorn. He looks like Tom Brady. I'm sorry, he looks like Tom Brady. He's a good-looking young kid. He's crazy though. He's crazy. I don't know what his deal is, but he has obviously gone through. He has suffered in his young life some very severe trauma, and I don't think he's I don't think he's all right. I don't think he has worked through. I think that this is not about Madison Cawthorn. Well, actually, it kind of is, because he is claiming, and this is interesting. Representative Madison Cawthorn says his fellow lawmakers have invited him to take part in Republican orgies in Washington and snorted lines of cocaine right in front of him. Cawthorn, 26, and also a Republican from North Carolina, was asked in an interview last Thursday about whether the former Netflix series House of Cards, which chronicles a corrupt representative from South Carolina in D.C., played by Kevin Spacey, was fiction or more like a documentary. He was quoted as saying, "The only thing that's not accurate in that show is that you could never get a piece of legislation about education passed that quickly." Cawthorn said. He then explained the sexual perversion that goes on in Washington. I mean, being kind of a young guy in Washington, where the average age is probably 60 or 70, you look at these people, a lot of them that I've looked up to through my life, I've always paid attention to politics, said Cawthorn, who was elected in 2020. Then all of a sudden, you get invited. We're going to have a sexual get-together at our homes. You should come. What did you just ask me to come to? Cawthorn would say. And then you realize they're asking you to come to an orgy. Well, okay. He doesn't work. That's one of the things about him, which is why many of his critics say that he doesn't work. If you know what I mean. He has no movement below the waist. And he's handsome, but maybe they don't know how orgies work. Maybe a Republican orgy is, something else than what I thought. He also claimed to have seen people that he described as leading national conservative anti-addiction efforts snort cocaine right in front of him. And then you watch them do a bump of cocaine right in front of you. And it's like, this is wild, Cawthorn said. The Republican also made headlines earlier this month when he referred to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as a thug, of course, because they're pro-Russia, and the country's government as incredibly evil. Voters in North Carolina have sued to keep him off. Or did I say South Carolina? He's North. I thought he was South Carolina. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Voters in one of the Carolinas have sued to keep him off the ballot this November because of comments he has made supporting the January 6th Capitol riots, who attempted to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. Now, this is interesting. This is really, it would seem, first of all, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think that he's just, he just says things that are. But why is he going after his own party with these? And I'll tell you why. It's because the people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, people like Josh Hawley, possibly the Madison Cawthorns, the Lorraine Boberts, the Matt Gaetz, the truly out there ones that nobody in the middle respects. There are some people on the very far right that are too stupid to really recognize stupid when they see it, because Dunning-Kruger Effect. You do not recognize it's a cognitive dissonance. I don't understand why these people who are currently in the Republican Party are trying to splinter their party. This will only be an effective tool in House races, which maybe that's their end game. Maybe that's their goal, to just be able to control the House, because if you can control the House, then everything just gets stopped. Then nothing gets done. Nothing. If you the downside of being in absolute control of the House is that whoever is the president and whoever controls the Senate, it doesn't matter, because you are in the middle there causing some kind of a traffic jam, which will allow nothing to get done. So, but the splintering of his own Republican Party in this way, the trash talking, which should be, if you're truly interested in the White House, and not him personally, but if your party gaining the White House, you want a unified national party. You don't want splintering, because when you start voting at the federal level for federal jobs like the president, you want a united nationwide party. That's the entire purpose. So, this isn't good for, whoever is going to get the Republican nomination if you have the crazy people in the party trying to dismantle any sort of effective strategy for a 50-state plan from the inside. It really doesn't make any sense. It only makes sense if he is interested in holding on to his own power in his own district, which is short-sighted and certainly isn't serving America, because that just means that nothing will get done. And he's out anyway. He's got so many problems in his district right now. Now, people are like, even like the people who voted for him, who thought, look at that good-looking guy, and isn't that sad that he's, in a wheelchair? And then the story about how he got in a wheelchair came out, and people are like, wait, what? He did that? And he's just got so much. So he's probably on his way out anyway. But makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense for a two-party system to have one of the parties trying to create a third party, a rift within one of the two parties. Because as long as the other party is solid, they're going... You get it. You get what I'm saying. So that's why conservative orgy is trending. Madison Cawthorn is saying that his fellow Republicans are cocaine addicts and sex junkies or whatever. All right, so now let's get into, there's still a whole bunch of stuff trending about the Oscars last night. Richard Williams is trending. He, of course, the subject of King Richard, the movie that Will Smith won the Oscar for Best Actor. Richard Williams has strong words about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. That's a bit of a misleading headline because... clickbait is what it is, and they lie to us. I wouldn't call them exactly strong words, but the man Will Smith portrayed in King Richard has weighed in on the actor's assault of comedian Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars Sunday night. Richard Williams, the father of tennis legend Venus and Serena Williams, told NBC News on Monday that he condemns the slap and violence in almost every situation. We don't know all the details of what happened, Williams said through his son, Chevoy Lashane. Yeah, we do. We know all the details of what happened. We watched it. A billion people watched. Well, actually, I don't know if a billion people watched the Oscars anymore, but you know what I'm saying? It was on live TV, and at least a billion people have seen it virally, because even if you weren't watching it, even people who had, my son who had no interest in watching the Oscars, saw the slap like a dozen times. So people have seen it. We do. Richard, with all due respect, we do understand what happened. We do know all the details. We saw them. They happened live on television. We don't know all the details of what happened, Williams said through his son, Chevoy Lashane, but we don't condone anyone hitting anyone else unless it's in self-defense. And then it goes into rehash the whole thing. So there you go. That's why Richard Williams is trending. Richard Williams. King Richard. Which, again, and Kelly brought this up last night when she was talking about, there's a lot more to Richard Williams' personal story than was depicted in that movie. There's some sketchy stuff. But he's an old man. History is now going to judge him or view him through the lens of that movie and that apparently wonderful performance by Will Smith. I'm not watching the movie now. I was going to watch it. I was like, I'm kind of interested in that. I love Venus and Serena Williams. I think they're awesome chicks. I would love to find their story. And then, the thing happened, and I'm like, I just can't stomach Will Smith at the moment, so I'm not going to watch it. Didn't Amy Schumer have a good joke about that? About how a great moment for Black women athletes, because this year Hollywood finally got off their butts and made a movie about their dad, which I thought was a good joke. That's a good joke. Couldn't just make a movie about Venus and Serena. It's got to be about their dad. It's about their dad and how great he is. Africa is trending. We talked about this. This was when Daniel Kaluuya and the singer, walked out, and they played, the people at the Oscars played dun, 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 dun. The Toto song Africa, and the two black presenters kind of looked at each other funny as they were walking out, like, okay. It's trending because people online, I thought it was funny. What the hell is that? Is this going to be a video? Oh, we don't want to see the video. I don't want to see the video. We don't need to see it. I don't want to play the video. Anyway, it's trending because people online were like, that's racist. And, and then the story goes on to say that what I said last night, which, well, if it's racist, then it's a black guy being racist because the entire production crew of the Oscars was a black team for the first time ever. The entire production team of the Oscars were African-American creatives, executive producers, all the way down the line, the music directors, the person who picked out the music, they were all black people for the first time. It was the Oscars trying to overcompensate for the thing of a few years ago, Oscars so white. So they hired an entire black crew. So all of the energy and the vibe and the production and the creativity that went on behind the presentation of the Oscars was all perpetrated by people of color. So if it's racist, then it's not the traditional form of white dude being racist. Also, cringy celeb tweets. I wanted to touch on this. Celeb tweets was trending. This was trending late last night, and I pulled this. I don't know if it's still trending, but it doesn't really matter. But these are some of the tweets that celebrities sent out. They're being compiled now. Things that celebs had to say about the whole slap. So, Judd Apatow, he was one of the first celebrities to offer his take in a since deleted tweet. He deleted it because he got ratioed. he got ratioed because Judd Apatow was like, he could have killed him. And everybody was like, dude, it was an open-handed slap. Look, of course, he could have killed him if like a 1 in a million situation had occurred. Sure, I could be killed doing this show right now. I could be hit by a bolt of lightning that comes through the ceiling and just fries me in my seat. That could, I suppose, happen, but come on, let's not be over dramatic, Judd Apatow. Here, where is this tweet? I'll read you the whole tweet. Since deleted tweet. Judd Apatow says, he could have been killed. That's pure out of control rage and violence. They've heard a million jokes about them in the last 3 decades. They are not freshmen in the world of Hollywood and comedy. He has lost his mind. All right, so there you go. And he deleted that. Judd Apatow deleted that because people were like, killed? Really? And then he was like, okay, I guess that was a little bit over the line. I probably shouldn't have been that much of a drama guy. But I love Judd Apatow. Judd Apatow is a power player. Conan O'Brien, he tweeted, just saw the Will Smith slap. Anyone have a late night show I can borrow just for tomorrow night? There you go. Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, he said something too. Here's what Mark Hamill said. Stand-up comics are very adept at handling hecklers. Violent physical assault, not so much. Kathy Griffin. Oh, Jesus. Here you go. Kathy Griffin. By the way, Carrot Top trends every time Kathy Griffin trends. I wonder if he likes that. It's Carrot Top. Every time Kathy Griffin does something that people are like, oh, God. Carrot Top trends, because that's what people call her. People call her Carrot Top because she does kind of look like Carrot Top. There was a picture that went viral a while ago of Kathy Griffin standing on a balcony, and it was from behind, and the caption was Carrot Top or Kathy Griffin, and I shit you not, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. It could have been either. Kathy Griffin says, let me tell you something. It's a very bad practice to walk up on stage and physically assault a comedian. Now we all have to worry about who wants to be the next Will Smith in comedy clubs and theaters. I find Kathy Griffin to be a bit much, you know. I mean, I don't hate her. I try not to have any real hate for people other than people I actually hate. But I find her to be a little bit much sometimes. But she's right here. This is a very real situation. I talked about this last night. There has now been precedent set. It has now been normalized in the minds of idiots. And let's not kid ourselves. There's a lot of idiots out there that if you're sitting in a comedy club, let's say you're up at the Addison Improv and you're seeing a comedian And maybe your girlfriend is getting a little stupid, the way people tend to get in the audiences at comedy clubs. And the comedian up on stage decides to like take a silly little shot at your girlfriend. It is now normalized for that boyfriend, I'm going to be like Will Smith, to get up and attack the comedian. That is the precedent that has been set by no other than Will Smith, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. A guy can justify it now. It's not out of the realm of speculation that that's not an option. It is now an option. It is the guy's like, well, I'm going to do what Will Smith did because. So, I mean, that is troubling for stand-up comedians out there. You have to be allowed to be a comedian. You go into a comedy club and you act up. You have to expect the comedian to heckle you or take a shot at you or whatever. Jaden Smith, the son of Will and Jada Pinkett Smith, he just simply tweeted out, and that's how we do it. I don't know how old Jaden Smith is. He's a grown-up, right? He's an adult, so it's really not like a thing like, don't take shots at kids. But I'm not going to take a shot at him. This is mom and his dad. This is mom and his dad, and it's a very tricky situation where a lot of people could have been coming for them like, oh, I can't believe they acted this way. This is mom and his dad. So Jaden Smith trending out, and that's how we do it, is not awful to me. It's his mom who was attacked, and it's his dad who stood up for him. So, you know, I wouldn't have tweeted that, but you know, you can't be angry at the kids, you can't be angry at the young man because that's his mom and his dad. I don't know who Joel Kim Booster is, but he's trending. It says Will Smith slapping Chris Rock is straight people's Adele Dazeem. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Who knows? Nicki Minaj had a whole thing. Nicki Minaj says, I love Chris Rock. I don't think he would have made that joke had he known what Jada recently shared. But between him and the whole team at the Oscars, you mean to tell me not one of you all heard this woman just share this heartbreaking story? You just got to witness in real time what happens in a man's soul when he looks over to the woman he loves and sees her holding back tears from a, quote, little joke at her expense. This is what any and every real man feels in that instant. While y'all seeing the joke, he's seeing her pain. It's Nicki Minaj. Rob Reiner, old meathead, checking in. Rob Reiner says, Will Smith owes Chris Rock a huge apology. There is no excuse for what he did. He's lucky Chris is not filing assault charges. The excuses he made tonight were absolute bullshit. Maria Shriver. Will Smith says he wants to be a vessel for love. Love is not violent. Love is not what was displayed on a global stage tonight. Sophia Bush. Violence isn't okay. Assault is never the answer. Also, this is the second time that Chris has made fun of Jada on stage at the Oscars. And tonight, he went after her alopecia. No, he didn't, but okay. Punching down at someone's autoimmune disease is wrong. Doing so on purpose is cruel. They both need a breather. David Spade, who is close friends with Chris Rock, simply put out a G.I. Jane joke. Patton Oswalt, stand-up comedian. Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty must be texting like mad right now. Okay, that's a reference to when was it, like 2017, when Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty got up and announced the best picture, and they said that La La Land had won Best Picture, and the whole team from La La Land got up and they're like, yay, we won. But it was wrong. They actually meant to say Moonlight, because one of them, and I don't remember which one of them read the final nominee and not the winner. They actually read the wrong word. So there you go. I don't know who Quinta Brunson is, but she has a blue check, and she's in here in the celebrity compilation, and she says, what a very West Philly Oscars that was. Cher says, went out of the room and missed reason for Will's punch, but I just saw it. Still not sure why that happened. Director Rian Johnson says, ha ha ha, I love the Oscars so effing much. Ida Bay Wells, who is better known as Nicole Hannah Jones, the Pulitzer Prize winning author of the 1619 Project, says, I'm tripping that you can assault someone on live television on stage and at the Oscars and just take your seat and watch the rest of the show. Let's see. Bernice King, the daughter of Martin Luther King, says anybody who thinks black people look bad after the Oscars already thought black people look bad. All right. Yeah. All right. I'm with that. Respectability doesn't cure racism. Stop it. Be loved. But please don't think that a person who uses one moment to malign a whole group of people did not do so before that moment. Yeah, she's talking about the pieces of garbage that I heard yesterday, the AM talk show host, the right-wing guys and the Fox News people who used that incident as an opportunity to talk about the inherent violence of the black man in America, which is absolutely moronic. But, they were given, Will Smith provided all of them with an avenue to let their little dog whistles blow. Will Packer, the executive producer of the Oscars, Will Packer says, "Welp, I said it wouldn't be a boring Oscars." There you go. And that's it. Those are the compilation of celebrities who have been tweeting about the Oscar slap. One last thing, actually, about the Oscars. Actually, not one last thing. There's two last things. But this one here, there were a couple of omissions, and people are, because of the slap, nobody's talking about the omissions. But every year, there's people who complain about people who are left off the In Memoriam, which is my favorite part. The In Memoriam slideshow is my favorite part of the Oscars, where they show us all the people who are dead, all the people who died, all the people we lost. And people are really pissed. And you know what? I didn't realize this because I think that came after the slap. So I was only thinking about the slap. There were a couple of very big omissions from the Oscars In Memoriam. Most notably, Ed Asner. They left Ed Asner off. Ed Asner's done a bunch of movies. I know he's most notable for his television work, but Ed Asner deserves a shot. He deserves to be in the In Memoriam. Ed Asner was a golden god. He was awesome. Ed Asner was left off, and that is a serious omission. That needs to be rectified. That is some bullshit. But also, Bob Saget, who'd done a bunch of movies. Bob Saget was in a bunch of movies. Bob Saget, again, most notably a television actor. But how do they, in the In Memoriam, leave off? They had film editors from the 1950s that were memorialized. People nobody had ever heard of. And you're telling me you're gonna leave off? This just shows how out of touch these people are. This is nothing. The Oscars are always just a big backslap, a big self-congratulatory affair with no tethering to what the people in Iowa, Nebraska, or across the country really care about. You denied the people of America two of their most favored performers. Ed Asner died. He should have been on there. Bob Saget, beloved. Bob Saget was the biggest celebrity death of the past. Well, Betty White was big, but Bob Saget after Betty White was really big. People love Bob Saget, and you left him off? You didn't even think? Don't make me quote Bob Saget's greatest line from a film that he was ever in, because I will go there. Yes, there you go. Fast outdoor food. Ed Asner was Santa in Elf, one of the great Christmas movies of modern times. Ed Asner also played in a lot of movies, but Bob Saget in what was the movie? What was the Half Baked? Come on, where they're in the self-help for the drug addicts. And I won't tell you Bob Saget's line, but you could look it up. You could look up Bob Saget Half Baked, and you'll see one of the funniest lines in film history. And Bob Saget, completely forgotten, totally left off. Also, Norm Macdonald was left out. What's that about? How you gonna not put Norm Macdonald on there? But the big ones were certainly Bob Saget and Ed Asner. But Norm Macdonald did movies. He was in. They don't know. They don't care. That's why they make stupid movies. That's why half the movies that were nominated are movies that nobody really cares to see. All of the biggest movies, the top 5 biggest box office films of the last year, were nominated for nothing, because that is not an award show that's for the people. It's an award show for the industry. And it's always been that way. And that is fine. But then don't act like we're doing something wrong if we don't watch. There's another story. Ratings. The ratings were down. The ratings were down for the 10th consecutive year. Well, yes, but that has a lot to. That doesn't have to do with America doesn't like Hollywood anymore. That's not true at all. Because everyone has Netflix, everyone has. It's about the way we see movies. We don't go to theaters. We're coming off of 2 years of being inside. I haven't been to a movie. I can't even think of the last movie I went to. Yeah, I can. I went to the most recent Spider-Man movie, just a couple. But before that, I don't know, it was years ago. What we do now is we stay at home and we stream our content. So don't tell me that box office revenue being down for the 5th straight year is an indication that America doesn't like Hollywood liberals. That's moronic. You're stupid. It's the same argument that was made with the NFL. Do you remember when this was so funny. This is just people not having the information and just taking a little bit of information that sort of bolsters whatever their biased narrative is and running with it. Do you remember when the whole Colin Kaepernick take a knee BS was going on in the NFL, and certain people, were like, "Well, I'm never watching football again. We're gonna bring that league to its knees. We're gonna boycott the NFL." And then you started seeing stories about how NFL television ratings are down for the second consecutive year or whatever. And that's because, and they were like, "We're winning. Yay. Television ratings are down." No, that's because streaming ratings are through the roof. That's because most people, most young people anyway, still watch football on the TV. They just don't use it in a way that traditional television ratings measure it. You have the streaming numbers up here, and you have the regular television numbers that used to be up here, now down here. Because you see, when the regular television ratings for NFL football were up here, there was no such thing as streaming. But then streaming came on and people started streaming, and then you have this, but they looked at this category and went, "We're winning. Nobody's watching the NFL." Well, stop it. You're being silly. That's the same thing with Hollywood and theaters and movies. Oh, theaters go bankrupt because nobody wants to go see those movies anymore. No, we've been in a pandemic for 2 years. That's a big reason the theaters weren't open for a large part of that time. And secondly, we all still watch movies. We just watch them on Netflix, on demand, HBO Max, or whatever the hell else we do. It's a different criteria. So stop doing a victory dance based on outdated criteria. Thank you very much. I'm done. White outrage is trending. Like I said, this is going to be the last one we'll do about this. White outrage is trending because there is a belief that is flashing online that white people and black people have completely different takes on the Chris Rock Will Smith assault. White people, they all are taking the side of noted white comedian Chris Rock because Will Smith is black. And black people are being accused of taking iconic street cred, hardcore hip hop, serious black guy Will Smith's side against the white guy Chris. These were two black guys. What are you talking about? White outrage. If you support Chris Rock, it's not because you're a racist. Chris Rock isn't any less black than Will Smith. This wasn't a black. It was an incident that occurred between two guys who happened to have brown skin. That's what it is. This isn't a black and white issue. This isn't a racial issue. But white outrage is trending because they're saying that white people are just angry because Will Smith is a black icon. Will Smith is not a black icon. Will Smith is an American icon, or at least he was. I mean, there is some tarnish now on his Gleason. There is a little bit different way that people are looking at Will Smith, I think now. But he's not a black icon. He is an American icon. There is no greater example of somebody who has been able to cross over all racial bounds than Will Smith. Well, stop it. They're out there. They're acting like Will Smith is a member of the Wu-Tang Clan. They're acting like Will Smith is an American film icon, an A-list superstar. He's not a black guy or a white guy. And Chris Rock is one of the most beloved and accomplished comedians of all time. Chris Rock is not a black comedian. Will Smith is not a black movie star. They happen to be black, but it's not like we're talking about Clarence Williams III and Red Fox. I mean, these are not people whose success is dependent on the acceptance of only the black community. These people are mainstream, beloved American icons. The way that this thing has been racialized is just so depressing. It is just, stop it. And apparently, I know plenty of black people who I have watched on Twitter who are outraged at what Will Smith did. So this crazy narrative that only white racists are upset by this is maddening. And it's, God, everything. And I know that it's just the vacuum of social media that creates these things, and that you walk out onto the street and you're not actually going to run into people who adhere to these crazy social media narratives. But it's still frustrating. It's still frustrating that there are troublemakers out there trying to turn things into something terrible when really the initial terrible action is all that needs to be discussed. The Flash, Ezra Miller, The Flash is trending. I love The Flash. You know, I'm one of my more controversial takes in the comic book world that we live in now. Everything is made from a comic book. Is that I'm not going to say that DC is better than Marvel, but I love DC. I love DC stuff. Zack Snyder's Justice League is better than any Marvel movie. That's it. That doesn't mean that Marvel movies haven't been pounding out great movies at a 5-to-1 ratio over DC. They have. DC has had some pretty stupid attempts at carving into the Marvel cinematic juggernaut, the box office, whatever you want to call it. They've made some bad movies. DC doesn't do consistently as good a job as Marvel. That can't be denied. But it doesn't mean that DC sucks. And I like DC, and I particularly like The Flash. And Ezra Miller, The Flash, is trending. Why? Oh, because he's a dick. You know, this has to happen, right? This has to happen. Turns out that Ezra Miller is kind of a dick. He's an actor, and he's pretty much only known, I mean, he's best known. He's not only known, but he is best known for playing the Flash. The Flash star, Ezra Miller, has been arrested in a Hawaiian bar. Ezra Miller, the film star best known for playing, hey, I just said that. The film star best known for playing the Flash in Justice League films was arrested he's so funny. The Flash is funny. I love the Flash. I love Momoa. I didn't think I would ever like Aquaman. I thought, you can't make an Aquaman movie that's going to be interesting to me. There's no way that I give a crap about a dude who's half fish. But then they cast Jason Momoa, and they tweak a little bit of the legend of Aquaman a little bit so that he's allowed to be out on land, and he could still be kind of a superhero on land. I love Aquaman. I like Justice League. I love Justice League. I like the Joker. I like Batman. I like Superman. I like anytime you can get Batman and Superman together in a film. I love it. However, with that said, I hated Batman versus Superman. Hated it because, and this has been a lifelong argument between me and my 12-year-old son. Batman can't take Superman. End of story. End of story. I don't care how that movie played it out. I don't care that, Batman won in the Batman versus Superman movie. He cheated. Pound for pound, there is no way that Batman can take Superman. And if you saw Justice League, you know that every other superhero on the planet, at least in the DC universe, they are scared shitless of the now pissed off Superman. And I want to see them expand the idea of dark Superman with an edge, Superman who isn't quite as, well, I'll tell you, Lois. Anyway, back to Ezra Miller, who is great as the Flash. Superman with a chip on his shoulder who's just hot and pissed off at Batman is the Superman that we've been waiting for. The 29-year-old Ezra Miller was charged with disorderly conduct and harassment in connection with a late-night disturbance at a South Hilo bar. During the course of their investigation, police determined that the man, later identified as Ezra Miller, became agitated while patrons at the bar began singing karaoke. I mean, I'm not a fan of karaoke either. That's why I don't go to karaoke bars. If I'm in a bar and they trot out onto the stage a karaoke machine, and I noticed that there is a banner that says something like Miller Lite presents karaoke night, that's when I tab out and I go to a bar where I don't have to watch. Unless, here's the one exception to my karaoke. If I'm shit-faced, if I'm out with a group of people and I am shit-faced and I walk in and karaoke is going on, then I'll stay. Then it's fun. Then it's like, eh. But if you're shit-faced, you can't be mean shit-faced. Don't be a mean drunk. And it seems to me like Ezra is a mean drunk. The 29-year-old was charged with disorderly conduct and harassment. During the course of the investigation, police determined that Ezra Miller became agitated while patrons at the bar began singing karaoke. According to the Hawaii Police Department report, Miller began yelling obscenities and at one point grabbed the microphone from a 23-year-old girl who was singing. Later, he lunged at a 32-year-old man who was simply playing darts. The bar owner asked Miller to calm down, brah. I'm sure he added that because he's Hawaiian. Calm down, brah. Several times to no avail. Miller, who revealed to GQ in 2020 that, oh no, okay. All right, well, I didn't know this about him. Miller, who revealed to GQ in 2020 that they use they-them pronouns in a pointed refusal to be gendered or identified, was arrested and charged with total bail set at $500. Well, he should probably be able to make that. He provided the bail and was released. And then they show his arrest picture. Yep, that's the Flash. I like the Flash. In addition to appearing in a number of DC comic book Justice League movies, Miller will star as the superhero in The Flash standalone film that is set for a 2023 release. I would see The Flash standalone film because I like the Flash character. He's funny. He plays this character very well. He's interesting. He's kind of a scamp. But now we know that he's a dick. Now we know that he's just, well, you know what? Honestly, most Hollywood celebrities are dicks. I mean, what are you going to do? So there you go. The Flash, apparently not quick enough to outrun Hawaiian police. He's in jail. Earth is trending right now. Earth. Adam Reina says they are really an asshole. This is the first story that I've heard about him acting like an asshole. And that's disheartening. That'd be like finding out that Jason Momoa is an asshole. And he's not. Everything I have learned about Jason Momoa speaks to him just being a mensch of the highest order. Just a great guy. I love him. By the way, did you see at the Oscars? This is another observation that I had that I was shocked by. Jason Momoa, who is, he's always going to be Drago to me. Drago from Game of Thrones. That's where I first noticed Jason Momoa and went, ooh, who's this actor? I like him. Drago. Cal of the Dothraki, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Game of Thrones. I love Drago. I love Jason Momoa. So, Aquaman Drago, he came out to present an award at the Oscars with Josh Brolin, who is, of course, Thanos. From the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So you had a Marvel guy in Josh Brolin, Thanos, and a DC guy in Jason Momoa, and they came out and they presented their awards. Dude, Jason Momoa could have put Josh Brolin in his pocket and carried him around. The size difference between Jason Momoa and Josh Brolin was upsetting. It was upsetting because I know that Jason Momoa is a big dude, but he's not that big. I have stood next to NBA centers. Jason Momoa is not 7 foot tall. Josh Brolin has got to be like 5'9" tops. Let's find out. Let me just see this. I'm gonna find out how tall, because he played Thanos. And you know, Thanos in the Marvel movies is like this massive, like killer guy. It's just so silly to see him the size of a jockey. How tall is Josh Brolin? All right, let's see. Josh Brolin is 5'10", it says. 5'10". No way. No way he's 5'10". All right, let's see how tall Jason Momoa is. Jason Momoa. 6'4". 6-inch difference. It seemed more than a 6. It really did seem like more than a 6-inch difference. Hold on. Let's see what we do. Yeah. Brolin. Jason Momoa. I'm trying to find a good picture, but can't really find a good picture of them standing next to each other. Here's one. Okay, we'll do this. All right, this one kind of shows it. All right, look at this. All right. This looks more than 6 inches. This looks like more than a 6-inch difference. When they were just standing there, it was like, what? All right, look at them. Look at them. Momoa on the right, Brolin in the middle, and then the lady who won the Oscar. I forgot her name. Look at that size difference. I mean, that's it. Oh, nope. Celine. Nope. All right, I mean, just look at the wider. He's thin. All right. You know what? You're chasing rabbits now. Thank you. Thank you, schizophrenic me. I'll get back on point. Byron says, I lent Momoa to my neighbor. I don't know what that means. Oh, Adam, here you go. Adam Rainey gets a rim shot for that one. I won't repeat it because that would be a self-abuse, and I'm not interested in self-abuse. Earth is trending. Why is Earth trending? I don't know. Probably nothing. You know, it's probably nothing. But there's a problem with the sun. there's a problem that science has discovered with the sun, and Earth has been hit by a solar eruption, an unexpected solar eruption that could have disrupted satellites. And Earth was in the path of an unexpected eruption of solar energy Monday morning, which may have caused auroras to be visible in the northern United States. I hate these stories because these are the kind of stories that were just like, that's probably nothing. No, it's probably something. It's probably, at the very least, you know what is something? That unexpected things can happen on the sun that could affect us here. See, I would like to believe, when I lay my head on my pillow at night, I like to believe that science is not going to be freaked out by anything that they see occurring on our sun. Okay, I like to think that they've kind of figured out how it works, and they have told us that, yeah, the sun is going to burn out, but not for like another 5 billion years, so don't worry about that. I go to sleep every night knowing that science has determined that. So whenever things happen on the sun and they're like, whoa, what was that? Yeah, that's. But you know what? So be it. How can you truly be upset if we all go at once? You know, I mean, isn't that really the thing about dying? You just don't want to FOMO. You don't want to miss out. You know, that's what dying's about. That's why you get upset when you die. Like, oh my God, I'm going to miss out on all the cool stuff. What am I going to miss out on? But if we all go at once, how bad can it be, right? We're all just, like, if the sun just suddenly goes boom and explodes, and then we get shattered into like a bunch of pebbles of sand throughout the universe. Maybe that's the best case scenario, that we all just get taken out at once very quickly. We have no idea what happens. Now it's like I'm describing a Marvel movie, right? The end of Avengers, the one where half the population dissolves into sand, whatever that one was. That was a good one. I like Marvel movies. So there you go. So Earth Earth and the sun are trending, which, it's not a good thing to see trending. Here's a good thing to see that's trending here. And, this is something that I'm very keyed into because I've been to this a bunch of times. Started going in high school with my buddies. I don't know if Kevin Barber's in the chat room, but we used to go up every summer when we were in high school. And then later in my 20s, I used to go with my the radio station that I was a part of. And then I went with, I went with some friends later. My first wife. Summerfest is back. What is Summerfest? Because I can't imagine that people in the South or outside the Midwest know what Summerfest is. Summerfest is the longest running and largest musical festival in America. That's right. Summerfest is like one of only 3 cool things about Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's right. What are the other 3? Beer and Laverne and Shirley. That's it. Summerfest is number 1 coolest thing about Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer is the number 2 coolest thing about Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Laverne and Shirley. And really, if we're going to be specific, Frank DeFazio, Laverne's dad. Those are the 3 coolest things about Milwaukee. For the first time since 2019, Summerfest, the largest music festival in the United States, is returning to the heart of summer. And Lil Wayne, Backstreet Boys, Charlie XCX will be there. The superstars are among more than 100 headliners for the 2022 festival that officials revealed Tuesday morning. Wiz Khalifa and the Wu-Tang Clan are also joining the event. Let's see here. Backstreet Boys are going to be headlining one night. Tickets for the Backstreet Boys show. Nobody cares about tickets for the Backstreet Boys. When does it start? Summerfest ground stage headliners? Again, Summerfest has one of the most diverse lineups of any festival around the world. Summerfest is fun, man. The city of Milwaukee they've gone all in. They know that it's like, okay, we're Milwaukee. We're like the non-successful little brother to Chicago who is right down the lake. But if you want to come up here for something, we're going to, you know what it is? Milwaukee to Chicago is, I used to say that it's like Fort Worth is to Dallas, like how Dallas is like the big one, but then Fort Worth. But Fort Worth is so cool. I wouldn't want to put that on Fort Worth. Fort Worth is way cooler than Milwaukee. Like there's only 3 cool things about Milwaukee, but there's at least 100 cool things about Fort Worth. So maybe it's like maybe it's more like what Waco is to Dallas. Maybe that's more what it is. So the people in Milwaukee, they said, well, we need to do something in the summer because summers in Wisconsin are like the greatest. The summers in the Midwest, trust me, I've lived here in the South. I know what summers are here. Summers here are brutal. Summers in Texas are as brutal as winters are in the Midwest. But summer in the Midwest is fantastic with the lakes and the forests. And it's just so cool. And everybody from Chicago, which is a very large metropolitan area, everybody from Chicago goes to Wisconsin in the summertime on weekends. It's all about, we all go to the lakes, and it's it's like our backyard. Wisconsin is the Chicago area's backyard. So Milwaukee, like a bunch of years ago, 1968 is when Summerfest started. Milwaukee said, all right, if we're going to have all of these people coming to our city from all over the Midwest because we have the coolest summers in America, let's do this. And so they basically paved their entire lakefront. Milwaukee is also on Lake Michigan. Really? Do you think we don't know geography? I don't know if you know. It's just up Lake Michigan from Chicago. But Milwaukee is also up on Lake Michigan, and they just basically paved the entire lakefront of Milwaukee and said, all right, that's going to be a permanent fairground for this one event every summer, and it's going to be awesome. And that's basically what Summerfest is. Started in 1968. Again, Summerfest has one of the most diverse lineups of any festival around the world, with Willow Smith, John Fogerty, Death Cab for Cutie, and the Village People among the ground stage headliners that were revealed on Tuesday. The headliner lineup also includes several acts with Wisconsin ties, including Violent Femmes, Milwaukee-born rock and roll Hall of Famer Steve Miller. They always have like Wisconsin bands. Grammy-nominated blues rock trio the record company, platinum-selling Christian rock bands, Skillet, and Buffalo Nichols, the up-and-coming blues act from Milwaukee's scene. Let's see, what else do we have? The 2022 festival also marks the final lineup overseen by Bob Babish, the Summerfest Vice President of Entertainment, who's retiring at the end of 22. Nobody cares. When is it going to be? Previously announced headliners for this year's Summerfest also include, these are big, Jason Aldean, Justin Bieber, Machine Gun Kelly, Halsey, Rod Stewart, and Thomas Rhett. The Milwaukee Festival kicks off on June 23rd, and then it just runs all summer. So it's like it's on weekends all summer long. All these big bands. It's there you go. All right, so there you go. Summerfest is trending. I will at some point take my Texas boy to Summerfest because it's cool. It's cool if you like sausages. There's a lot of sausages. There's a lot of cheese. There's a lot of beer. And there's music everywhere. And it's really cool. Also, who's interested in being old? You want to be old? Because they're putting together a big 80s tour that has just been announced. I don't know. I'm looking at this. I'll tell you when it's coming through town here. Rick Springfield, Men at Work, and John Waite, formerly of the Babies, don't you know, are teaming up for a summer tour. An 18-city trek featuring the tour of 80s hitmakers kicks off on August 5th in Augustine, Florida, and runs through September the 13th in Vegas. Tickets will be available starting on March 30th for SiriusXM subscribers, blah, blah, blah. Springfield, the Australian singer-songwriter, hit pay dirt with the release of Working Class Dog in 1981. He scored his first number one single with Jesse's Girl, which spent 19 weeks trying. We all know about this. Personally, I like the Sammy Hagar cover, I've Done Everything for You. I've done everything for you. You've done nothing for me. Working Class Dog was recorded for $60,000 during off hours at Sound City, which was owned by Springfield's manager, blah, blah, blah. Okay, nobody cares. Well, I'd say that album made more than $60,000, so that was profitable. The upcoming tour also finds Men at Work frontman Colin Hay celebrating the 40th anniversary of the band. Let's see here. And John Waite. John Waite will just get up and do like that song Missing You for like 40 minutes. Just one more time. I ain't missing you at all. I don't know what else John Waite has. Cry for you. That's another one of his songs. Anyway. All right. So here, let's see for our people. Irving, Texas. The 80s tour is coming to Irving, Texas on August 13th at the Pavilion at the Toyota Music Factory. How about for our Chicago people? Nope. Nope. Not coming through Chicago. There you go. All right, so that's the 80s tour. 80s tour is trending. That particular lineup is not. I like 80s music. Music has a sentimental attachment. We are tethered to the music that we heard during a time when music was the only thing we were thinking about. Music, sports, and whether your girlfriend is cheating on you. That kind of thing. When that was all that we had, it's called sentimental tethering. It is why when you hear a song that may not even be a particularly good song, but you hear it on the radio and you immediately feel good. The endorphins begin to go psh, 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 because it's not about the song you're listening to. It's about the memory of what you were doing at the time you heard that song. That's the sentimental tethering that we have towards music. And, for that reason, I would go and I would sit and I would watch an 80s show and I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's cool. I think I'm more sentimentally tethered to 90s stuff, especially like late 80s, early 90s stuff, because Rick Springfield came out in 1981. I wasn't even really into music then, but Pearl Jam, I would go see Pearl Jam and have that sentimental attachment. I would go to like Smashing Pumpkins and have that sentimental attachment. I don't, this show doesn't really do anything for me. I'm sorry. I gotta be honest. Rick Springfield, Men at Work, John Waits, John Wait. I don't know. It's not doing it for me. PlayStation Plus is trending. PlayStation Plus is trending. New subscription plans are launching. I don't know what that means, but if you're interested in why PlayStation Plus is trending, you can just click on that. Also, Xbox, or I'm not Xbox. I'm sorry, PlayStation 5, PS5s are trending. PS5 digitals. PlayStation 5 came out well over a year ago, and you still can't get them. I have been, for a very long time now, trying to acquire a reasonably priced PlayStation 5 for my son. And there are no stores that have them in stock. It's over a year now. It is over a freaking year that the PlayStation 5 has been out of stock everywhere. And why is it trending? It is trending because Amazon is saying that starting on April 1st, which, be careful, it's April Fool's Day. Starting on April 1st, they will have PlayStation 5 digitals in stock if you want to buy them. Why can't they make more? I mean, I understand. What, you don't get the whole idea of supply and demand, that if you just make a certain amount and everybody buys them and then there's twice as many people who want them but can't get them, that means you can raise the price. You don't understand that? No, I understand it. I just think it's so duplicitous. You can crank out enough for everybody who wants a PlayStation 5 to get one. And you can probably sell that many at a reasonable price. But instead, why when they can make less, they can employ less people to make the ones that they're making, and they can charge 3 times what they would charge for one if they wanted to give. Okay, I guess I'm not big on economics, but that makes sense. It's and it also bolsters my opinion that people who do that stuff are assholes. Okay, here we go. There are a lot of movies. There are a lot of movies that come out that I don't necessarily get to. Oh, geez, really? Hold on. My son sees a lot of movies with his mama and his stepdad, which is fine. I get it. Hold on. I got to re-enter. Is that right? There we go. But there are a couple movies, like there are certain movies that hope maybe they wouldn't even want to take him to see, and that'd be great. But there are certain movies that, like, I require him to see it with me, because ain't nobody else going to go see the new Top Gun movie with me other than my son. My son and I forced him to watch Top Gun when he was like 5 years old. Then I forced him to watch Top Gun again when he was like 10 years old. I love Top Gun. I love Top Gun. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. There is just something about that stupid movie that I just love. Oh boy. Okay, hold on. So, here we go. So the new Top Gun is coming out. Maverick Top Gun. And by the way, it's been done for like 2 years. Top Gun Maverick has been out, or not out, but ready to be released for like 2 years now. That's how long we've been waiting. In fact, I think that the first time I showed him Top Gun when he was like 5 was because Top Gun Maverick was coming out, and I wanted him to see it with me. But they shelved it because of the pandemic, because they want this to be a big summer movie theater release. So we got a new trailer. This is, if you're like me, then you're familiar with the first trailer. Here is the new trailer for Maverick Top Gun. And, oh my God, I'm so excited. Look at him. Look at that glorious bastard. Look at Maverick Mitchell. Look at him. He's still riding a motorcycle. Tom Cruise has not aged. Tom Cruise made Top Gun like 70 years ago, and he still looks like he's a 25-year-old fighter pilot.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
This movie looks awesome.
What do we have here? God, here I thought we were special.
Fellas, this here's Bagman.
Hangman.
Whatever.
What the hell kind of mission is this?
Everyone here is the best there is. Who the hell are they gonna get to teach us?
Enter Maverick Mitchell.
Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell. Let me be perfectly blunt. You are not my first choice. You are here at the request of Admiral Kazansky, a.k.a. Iceman.
Admiral
You have something
Iceman!
left to offer the Navy. What that is, I can't imagine.
Admiral Iceman, come on.
With all due respect, sir, I'm not a teacher. Just want to manage expectations.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking.
And we're off.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
We're going into combat on a level no living pilot's ever seen. Not even him.
You think up there you're dead? Believe me.
My dad believed in you. I'm not gonna make the same mistake.
Little Goose. We got a little Goose. We got Goose Jr. in this one.
Someone's not coming back from this.
Those are your pilots. Anything happens to them.
I'm feeling it move. That's how excited I am.
You will never forgive yourself.
That better not be Baby Goose. Baby Goose better not
No
die.
turning back now.
Come on.
Having any fun yet?
Yeah. Woo! I need a cigarette. I don't even smoke. That's how incredible that is. Top Gun. Shut up. I don't care what you say. I don't care. Shut up. Top Gun is awesome. Top Gun is trending. The new Top Gun. The new Top Gun is trending. Hole in One is also trending. This is kind of silly. Hole in One is trending because Donald Trump is claiming that he hit a hole in one at his golf club. And he's funny. Here's what's undeniable. He's the funniest president we've ever had. He is funny. He is, and it's not like, oh, you just mean he's funny because he doesn't try to be funny. That's not the same as being funny. No, he's funny. No, when he tries to be funny, he's funny. Stop it. You can dislike the man for his politics, but he's funny. He's very entertaining. For whatever reason. Over the weekend, a photo of Donald Trump after he purportedly, they always have to put purportedly, shot a hole in one circulated around the internet. On Monday night, the former president put those rumors to rest in the most Trumpy way possible. Many people are asking, so I'll give it to you now. It's 100% true, Trump said in a statement released by his office. But he was far from done. In fact, he was just getting started. It took place at Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach, Florida, on the 7th hole, which was playing 181 yards into a slight wind, he added. I hit a 5-iron, which sailed magnificently into a rather strong wind, with approximately 5 feet of cut, whereupon it bounced twice and then went clank into the hole. 5 feet of cut, sailed significantly. Whereupon, he's so great, really feels like you were there, right? As though you can feel the rather strong wind and hear the clank of the ball going into the hole. But Trump wasn't done, not by a long shot. After noting that he had been playing with several pro golfers, including Ernie Els, winner of 4 major championships and approximately 72 other tournaments, Trump said this about his shot. These great tour players noticed it before I did because their eyes are slightly better. But on that one hole only, their swings weren't better than mine. And yet, he still wasn't done. There's more. The match was Ernie and me against Gene Sowers and Mike Goods and Ken Duke. Trump continued. I won't tell you who won because I'm a very modest individual and you will then say I was bragging, and I don't like people who brag. It's okay. You don't have to tell us who won. Humble, thy name is Donald Trump. I guess we'll never know who won that match. Trump is, by all accounts, a good golfer. I've talked to a number of people for a book that I'm writing on presidents and sports, all of whom confirm that the former president likely has a single-digit handicap. Here's a quote now. He wants everyone to know he is a better golfer than he is, however, said Don Van Natta, author of First Off the Tee, A History of Presidents and Golf. He is a much better golfer than people know, but he's not as good as he says he is, which should surprise exactly no one who is familiar with Trump. His entire persona is premised on truthful hyperbole, an idea he outlined in his seminal book, The Art of the Deal. Quoting now Trump from his book, I play to people's fantasies, Trump wrote. People may not always think big themselves, but they can still get very excited by those who do. That's why a little hyperbole never hurts. People want to believe that something is biggest and greatest and most spectacular. I call it truthful hyperbole. It's an innocent form of exaggeration and a very effective form of self-promotion, Trump said. Yes, it is. All right, well, there you go. So he got, I choose to believe that he got a hole in one. There's no video. There should be. How would that suck? Wouldn't that be cool if there was video? But that's funny. He's just so funny. I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to brag. Then he goes into the details. And he goes into all the details. He's funny. Look, I know people get high. I hate that guy. He's funny. There's some things that are scary about him, to be sure. But come on, let's compartmentalize. Let's see here. What else do we have? I don't want to do that story. Not after that story. That was poor placement by me. I'm not going to go from a silly golf story about a former president to somebody got stabbed on the Vegas Strip. Well, now you just did it. You just did exactly what you were mocking Trump for doing. You said you weren't going to talk about something, and then you talked about it. Yeah, but I didn't go into the details. I didn't tell you that a guy pet another guy's dog, and the dog owner was like, "Don't pet my dog." And the guy was like, "Hey, sorry." And then "You pet my dog" guy stabbed the guy. I'm not going to tell you that. That just, oh God. Was it like a homeless dog? Don't you guys get sad when you see homeless dogs? What is that thing, right? That's a real problem for me as a human. Because I can see the homeless guy, and then I see the homeless guy's dog, and my instant empathy goes to the dog first, which sucks. That's a real problem that I need to work on because that is wrong. That dog is not as in need of my empathy as the human being. All right, what else do we have? Michael Che is trending. Michael Che, I love Michael Che. All right, Saturday Night Live current cast favorites. Here you go. My favorite person on the current cast of Saturday Night Live is Kyle Mooney. Kyle Mooney, I don't know, this guy, he just can't. He moves into a scene and I start to giggle because he's so silly. He is so funny. Love Kyle Mooney. Secondly, Ego Wodum. She's another one. Ego Wodum just appears in a scene and I'm like, oh, she's going to be good. She's the best. Michael Che, certainly. Love Michael Che. He's the head writer. And then we'll go with James Austin Johnson, who's the new guy. He's very funny. He will probably, after a few years, be one of my all-time favorites because you can just tell when a new first-year cast member jumps out and is that strong that quickly. You're like, oh my God, I haven't seen this since Will Ferrell. This guy has got a little something. So that's it. That's my top four. Also, honorable mention, Sarah Sherman. Sarah Sherman is another first-year cast member on Saturday Night Live. Sarah Sherman is very funny. She makes me laugh, but she makes me laugh because I have seen her a number of times in Chicago. She was a Chicago comic, and she had a different name. She went by the name Sarah Squirm. That was her That was her stand-up persona, Sarah Squirm. You'd go to a comedy club in Chicago and, oh, Sarah Squirm's on the bill. That's cool. And she's Sarah Sherman on Saturday Night Live, but Sarah Squirm. And she was a gross out comic. That's why her name was Squirm. Like everything about her act was just gross and funny. And she's just funny. So there you go. But why is Michael Che trending? Michael Che is trending because he says that he is not leaving Saturday Night Live. I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago where Michael Che alluded to the fact that he wanted to move on and do other things. He enjoyed being head writer of Saturday Night Live. He enjoyed his work on Weekend Update, but it was believed that the statement that he had made to some publication suggested that this would be Michael Che's last year on Saturday Night Live. He says, I ain't going anywhere. He says, no, I'm not. I'm staying. So that's good news because I love Michael Che. Michael Che brings the edge. Saturday Night Live has a problem with a lack of edge. My issue with the current cast of Saturday Night Live is that the people who seem to be in charge of Saturday Night Live, the most powerful and important people on the stage on Saturday Night Live in this current cast, are the theater kids. It's the damn theater kids, man. And I'm sorry. I don't want the theater kids in charge of Saturday Night Live. I want the insurgents. I want the punks. I like the ones with attitude, the ones that are going to be. And Michael Che certainly has attitude. Everybody that I mentioned there has an edge about their work, whether it's Ego Wodum or Michael Che or Kyle Mooney or even Sarah Squirm certainly has an edge, a bit of a gross out edge. James Austin Johnson, he's just talented. But and I'm talking about the Kate McKinnons and the Cecily Strongs and the A.D. Bryants. It's like they're all fine and they are all talented, right? And I hope they all go off to do wonderful things in films and do TV shows and whatever it is, but get them off the Saturday Night Live stage, please. Get them out of there. Fill it with people who have takes, fill it with people who have edge, fill it with provocateurs, because those three people that I just named are not provocateurs. They are way too likely to get some sketch on that involves musical theater where they're dancing and singing. I'm like, stop it. Stop it. God, can't handle that stuff anymore. Saturday Night Live has been terrible this year because of that influence. It's the theater kids. Let's move the theater kids off the stage. Come on, let's go. Let's get people. Let's get the bad people out there. Let's get the people with drug problems back involved. Let's get the people who, have failed relationships and terrible relationships with their parents. Let's get them in charge of the jokes instead of the theater kids. Michael Che is definitely one of those. Michael Che has real edge. And it's got to drive him nuts. It's got to absolutely drive him nuts as the head writer of Saturday Night Live to know that he has to fill at least 40 minutes of content on the show for Kate McKinnon, who is talented, but she's a theater kid. She's got no edge. She's not a provocateur. She's not interested. She's just talented. And she's very talented. I'm not taking that away from her, but she's not interesting. She's funny. She's funny when she does things that utilize her talents, but ugh. All right, Michael Che is staying. That's good. That's good. Let's see here. Missing coaches is trending. The NFL meetings, what winter meetings? Is it winter? Spring meetings? Whatever they do. I don't know. They all get together. I think they're in Jacksonville, Florida. And there are 4 coaches who are missing from this year's NFL meetings. And that's rare because typically all the coaches show up. And this year there are 4 that are not there. The 4 coaches who are not in attendance for the NFL team. Let's see, where are they? Okay, here they are. The 4 coaches who did not show up. Dallas's Mike McCarthy is not there. Bill Belichick is not there. Dan Campbell of the Detroit Lions is not there. What does Dan Campbell have going on? What's that? Why is Dan Campbell not showing up? I mean, I understand Bill Belichick. He ain't got to do nothing he ain't want to do. That's Dan Campbell, or that's Bill Belichick. He's Bill Belichick. He doesn't have to show up. But Mike McCarthy, Bruce Arians is the other one. Bruce Arians isn't there. Again, he's close. He's he's sickly, he get cancer and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna excuse Bruce Arians if he doesn't want to show up. Maybe he's feeling a little under the weather. I don't know. And plus, he's dealing with the whole Tom Brady nonsense. But Dan Campbell needs to be there. Bill Belichick, he doesn't need to be there. He's fine. He can not show up. Nobody. Everybody knows he's Bill Belichick. And Mike McCarthy, he's not there. He doesn't care anymore. Mike McCarthy's just cashing Jerry Jones's paycheck. I know this is your Dallas Cowboys coach, but I'm telling you, I go way back with that guy. I remember, come on, I'm a Bear fan. He was the Packers coach. I hate that guy. I am not a fan of Mike McCarthy. I think that Mike McCarthy is one of the most overrated NFL coaches in the history of the sport. He had Brett Favre, he had Aaron Rodgers. He was handed the team by, he was basically moved into a team that was built by other people and was just allowed, and he basically just drove it onto the rocks. That's all I'm saying. Just not a Mike McCarthy fan. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully he'll do fine. All right. And finally, the last thing that I have prepared here, trending today, also football related, former Cincinnati Bengal, Dallas Cowboy, and Chicago Bear quarterback Andy Dalton, TCU legend, the Red Rifle. Andy Dalton has signed a 1-year, $6 million deal with the New Orleans Saints. He's going to be down there. I don't know if he's going to be backing up Jameis. I assume that he is. They paid Jameis more. Saints signed Dalton to 1-year, $6 million deal with $3 million guaranteed. This is the digression of the NFL quarterback, because last year he had a $10 million deal for 1 year with the Chicago Bears, of which I believe the full $10 million was guaranteed. At least a significant chunk of that. So this year he's going to get one more shot, and he's only getting $6 million. Oh, Jesus. $6 million. Do you know what $6 million would do? Do you know what the $3 million guaranteed? Let's forget about the $6. $3 million guaranteed. $3 million given to me today. I never have to work again. I would. I could make that last. The way I live, there would be no significant changes in the way. I could make that last. I could fund this show. By the way, if you have any interest, please fund the show. We're at the end of the month. Throw a tip. Treat me like your bartender, man. Throw your bartender $10, $20, whatever. Just throw me a tip if you enjoy this show every day, because we're at the end of the month and we did not make it. Like I said, we're $200 shy. That's we should be able to raise the 200. That's not that. So there you go. Andy Dalton, $3 million guaranteed. And I'm here on a live stream every day, Monday through Friday, pining for tips. Whatever. I have red hair too. Actually, no, I don't. No, I don't have red hair anymore. I'm bald. All right, let's see what is happening since we signed on today. Let's jump in and see if there are any new things that are trending that I can just do a little one-off hot take on. We'll go to, I don't know why I do this. I go to Twitter first. Twitter is like the worst for these trending topics, but it's because it's up. It's because it's the quickest thing for me to just click on. Okay, so We Crashed, which is the new Apple TV show about WeWork. I keep seeing this everywhere. It's trending right now. Anybody watching We Crashed? Anybody? Is it any good? I'm fascinated by the story. By the way, I started over the weekend to try and watch The Dropout, which is the Elizabeth Holmes, Amanda Seyfried, Amanda Seyfried show about Elizabeth Holmes, about Theranos. She was just convicted of fraud. She was like America's youngest billionaire. She had an idea, and then she boonswoggled Silicon Valley to evaluating her idea at like $9 billion. And now I don't know if I like it or not. I haven't even gotten through the first episode yet. I'm like 40 minutes into it, and I'm like, is this going to pick up? Is this because the Elizabeth Holmes character that Amanda Seyfried is playing, and it's probably no fault of Amanda's. She's a good actress. She's probably nailing the character, but the real Elizabeth Holmes is just so not interesting. She's very robotic, and this isn't like watching Inventing Anna, where the real character of Anna Sorokin was fascinating. So Ruth from Ozark, when Ruth plays Anna Sorokin in Inventing Anna, she's got something to work with. She's got a character that she can be fun with. I don't know. I'm not following it. But We Crashed. I'm thinking I might jump out of the Dropout and start watching We Crashed. I don't know. We'll see. Madison Cawthorn is still trending. We already talked about him. But he was, before it was, he's trending for a different reason. So Madison Cawthorn was trending under the heading of Republican or conservative orgy. Now he's trending number 1. What is this? House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy says he plans to speak with Rep. Madison Cawthorn following his allegations that fellow lawmakers have invited him to orgies and to use drugs. Okay, so there you go. It's the same story. He's in trouble. See, this is what I was saying. Why is he trying to splinter the party unity by blaming other Republicans for throwing orgies and doing coke in front of him? That just makes no sense. So Kevin McCarthy's now like, all right, I got to talk to the kid. Multiple sources tell that Kevin McCarthy says that he plans to talk to freshman Rep. Madison Cawthorn over his orgy remarks. Told several House Republicans stood up and were very upset by the reports that Cawthorn has been invited. They said it wasn't okay and that they don't believe it. I bet you the Republicans who stood up and were most vocal about it are the ones who invited him to orgies and to do coke. If that's even true, and I don't believe that's true. I just think for some strange reason, he's trying to ruin the solidarity within the Republican Party, which is just crazy. And again, I say, I mean, it's not crazy if you're only concerned with your own well-being. Because, I mean, it's crazy from a standpoint of the Republican Party ever holding the White House again, because you cannot splinter the party. If the other party, if we're in a two-party system and one party is unified and the other party is splintered and going off in all different directions, yeah, that's not good. So, I don't know. Jim Carrey is trending. Why is Jim Carrey trending? Jim Carrey is trending. He says, I have nothing, it's Will Smith related. I have nothing against Will Smith. He's done great things, but that was not a good moment. It cast a shadow over everyone's shining moment. It was a selfish moment, Jim Carrey says of Smith's Oscar slap. Ron Perlman is trending. What is he trending for? What is Clay from Sons of Anarchy? What is he trending for? What did he do? He's always got political hot takes. Nope, never mind. Not going to do it. He's got a political hot take, and nobody needs a political hot take from the dude from Sons of Anarchy. Andy Dalton is trending. There you go. We already talked about that. Top Gun Maverick is trending. Love that. PlayStation Plus. Okay, so these are all burners still trending. All right, this isn't good. All right, this is a legit story. Breaking 30 minutes ago, Israeli paramedics say at least 5 people have been killed in a shooting in the central city of Bnei Brak, east of Tel Aviv. The shooting took place 2 days after a shooting in the city of Hadera that left 2 police officers dead. Okay, so troubles brewing up in Israel. Arrowhead Stadium is trending. Chiefs President Mark Donovan, when asked this morning about potential new stadium options, said that the team has considered options in the state of Kansas. They like Arrowhead and legacy of Lamar Hunt Stadium, but have been pitched by Kansas developers on a bunch of options. Yes, see, now, the people don't seem to understand. The Kansas City Chiefs play in Kansas City, Missouri. They don't play in Kansas City, Kansas. That's a different city in a different state that is across the board. They're close, but they aren't in the same state. The Kansas City Chiefs do not play in Kansas. They play in Kansas City, Missouri. So now they're saying that there's a potential stadium bid coming to the Chiefs from the people in Kansas City, Kansas. That's interesting. Yeah, Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott are both trending, but we're not going to. I don't want to do that. Blech. That's a stupid thing to talk about. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's see. Let's check Google. Let's see the Googles. Let's see what's happening there. Let's see what is trending on Google, since that's what we all use. Can't find the Google. Hold on. Where is the Google Trends? There we go. All right. I know it's 2:05. It's 2:05. I've done the full 2 hours, but still, I feel like I've got more to give. A reminder: if you have more to give, support the show. You can use any of those links right there at the bottom of the page. I leave it up there for a reason, so I appreciate it. Somebody, I think, tipped the show this morning or late last night. I have to check. I look at the account. Like I don't obsess over the account because I suffer from depression. But I appreciate. I see that I got a Bing, so that's good. So I will check that, and I will be very appreciative of whoever that is. But you, if you haven't made my phone Bing, that would be great. Let's see what else. Hilaria Baldwin is trending. Oh, well, good news for the Baldwins. She's pregnant again. All right. So Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin was trending too because he very publicly. Oh my God! Talk about being performative. He very publicly was on a park bench I think it was Central Park. It was somewhere. It was talked about, and there was a picture of him, and I just skipped over it because I'm like, come on. But as I say, performative. Alec Baldwin was seen very publicly with a giant stack of scripts, and he was reading through them in public, just trying to show people that he's still employable. All these people are so silly. All right, I think that's it. All right, let me jump into the chat. Let's see what you people have been gabbing about this whole time. Byron Granger, I know while I'm getting over killing a lady, I knock up my wife. Let me drill down on this, Byron. Do you really believe that that's the proper use of that? Do you honestly believe that he killed a lady? I'm going to kill this lady. I mean, is that really so, or is that just programming? Is that just because that's it feels better to you? Because I think it's pretty clear that this was a terrible accident and that there was a whole bunch of shit fucked up. I mean, do you honestly believe that Alec Baldwin is a crazy murderer who killed a lady? Because I need to know. I just need to know. I'm interested in the way, people process these things. Adam says, they're posturing for my public funding. It's sickening that billionaires take public funds for their stadiums that never make a city money. Yeah, I'm with you, Adam. I don't know that I appreciate the public funding of stadiums. It is definitely a hostage situation because it's not that the stadiums don't make money for the city. The teams do. The presence of the team do mean a lot for a metropolitan area. It means a lot. I mean, from things that are incalculable, it means a lot for the status of the area. It means a lot for, and there is money that you make from keeping a professional team in your town. But the idea that, I'm worth $20 billion and you, the taxpayers who already pay $50 to park and $300 for a ticket, must somehow also every year in your taxes pay for my big fancy stadium. I agree with you, and that's absolute bullshit. But the problem is that somebody will pay because of all of the other things that come with housing. And we'll use an NFL team in this situation. So a billionaire who has a team in, let's use Kansas City, a billionaire who has a team in Kansas City, Missouri, who the hotels in Kansas City, Missouri get filled up. The restaurants on game days and, all of that stuff, the media, the attention of the outside world comes in and glamorizes the city for whatever reason. So all of those extracurricular benefits of having the team are good, even though maybe the stadium never does actually pay for itself. Maybe but when a team that doesn't have that, or a city that doesn't have that, says, we'll build you a stadium because, see, we appreciate all of that extracurricular stuff, the billionaire then finds himself in a situation where he can hold the people of his home city, his present city, hostage. Is that shitty? Yeah. Is business shitty? Yeah. So I get it. I resent it, as I think you do as well. But on an intellectual level, I get why it's done. We would love for the benevolent billionaire to go, wait a second, I'm going to be fair about this. We love playing here in Kansas City, Missouri. We love the people of Kansas City, Missouri. We love the hotels and the restaurants and all of that stuff that benefit from us being here. And I'm worth X amount of billions of dollars. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and pay for it myself. We're going to stay here. No changes. That's not how it works. Unfortunately, you don't get to be a billionaire being like that. You don't. Billionaires do not acquire $1 billion being benevolent. They don't believe in. So yeah. And that's why, and I always say, that's why I despise billionaires. I despise them. Not all of them. There are actually a couple of them that seem kind of okay. Talked about Steve Ballmer the other day, kind of like him. Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, she seems all right. She seems okay. But, all of the other ones, like Bezos himself, oh God, is he a piece of garbage? Elon Musk, piece of garbage. They're all, the Sacklers, they're all terrible people. You do not get to be that wealthy being a good human being. The only justice that we can sink our teeth into in the whole billionaire thing is that if in fact there turns out to be a heaven and hell, they're all going to hell. They are all going to hell for psychic crimes against humanity. That's a fact. That is an absolute. If the heaven and hell exists within the narrative that I was taught going to Catholic school, then anybody who acquires $1 billion in the modern era is going to burn in hell. Stamp it, seal it, mail it. They're going to hell. So there you go. The downside of that is a lot of us broke ass people are probably going to hell too. So, there are many routes to hell, and it's not just about how you just coveted all of this money and made yourself fancy and wonderful. Byron says that Byron says he's just beating a shit, but he did kill that lady. Yes, he did. She died as a result of something that he did. But I was just trying to get to your mindset as far as him being a murderer, which, he's not. He's involved in a terrible situation. He might be a jackass. I think he's kind of a jackass. I also think he's funny, though. I also think Alec Baldwin, I don't give a shit. Whatever the hell he does, he was Jack Donaghy on 30 Rock. And Jack Donaghy is one of the funniest characters in television history. His Trump stuff on Saturday Night Live, it was funny like the first couple of times. Then it got to be a little bit much. Then it was just like, okay, stop it. We get it. You're not the greatest person, yourself. So stop it. Let the businesses pay since they have all of the suites, Jeff says about the issue of public funding. Well, or, see, I get it. Yeah, right. I agree. Let the businesses pay. Or the businesses don't have to pay, and they'll just move to a city that will. So what we have to weigh here is, do we want a team or do we want Tulsa to have suddenly an NFL team? Oh, you know what? Did we miss? You know what? I think we missed. I was going to say, this is a very big, I can't believe we're talking about this. I totally skipped over the things that happened on this day in history. Did you guys notice that? How come nobody, you people must hate that part of the show. Because on this day in 1984, the Baltimore Colts loaded all of its possessions into 15 Mayflower moving trucks in the middle of the night and just moved to Indianapolis. If you were a lifelong Baltimore Colts fan on the evening of March the 28th, and you lived in Baltimore and you went to bed, when you woke up in the morning, they were the Indianapolis Colts. So, I mean, don't act like these things don't happen. These things happen. Think of the poor people in St. Louis. The people in St. Louis. Think of anybody who at any different time has been a fan of the Raiders franchise. They have moved. They have been Los Angeles, then to Oakland, then back to Los Angeles, and then back to Vegas, then to Oakland, whatever. They have moved around like crazy. The Cardinals have moved around like crazy. My father was a Chicago Cardinals fan. Broke his heart when they moved to St. Louis. And then a whole generation of people, multi-generations of people became St. Louis Cardinals fans, and then they just moved to Arizona. I mean, it happens, man. How important is it to your city having an NFL football team? My own team, the Chicago Bears, right now, they're basically, it's over. But they were trying to hold the city of Chicago hostage. The Chicago Bears are moving. The Chicago Bears are building a new stadium outside of the city of Chicago. They're building it in Arlington Heights. The site of the old Arlington Park racetrack. Beautiful plot of land right in the middle of the suburbs. It sucks because Soldier Field is like one of the most picturesque right there on the lake with the backdrop of the buildings on one side and the beautiful lake, and the shots when you come back from commercials, the shots of the sailboats out there, in a September early season game. Beautiful. Not going to have that anymore. Moving out to the suburbs. Thankfully, they didn't move, somewhere like Des Moines, like they're not the Des Moines Bears or anything, but whatever. I mean, these teams move. These teams, they're not good people. And if you own an NFL franchise, you're one of the aforementioned billionaires who basically suck at being people. Just terrible pieces of garbage. Okay. Adam says, numerous studies show they never make the money back, ever. Sure, they get cachet, but the upkeep costs alone make it impossible to get tax money back. So it's essentially a billionaire handout. Of course it is, but the cachet, see, you don't think that. All right. We have to, no, you know what? That was me. That was on me. That was not on Adam. Adam is having a reasonable conversation about this. I just allowed my preconceived notions about where this conversation between me and Adam is going to end up to judge it. No, you're right, but it is extremely important. And in a popular vote, the elected official who is on duty when the team leaves never wins re-election. So, here's the thing: Dallas Cowboys are going to move to Tulsa. Okay. Dallas Cowboys decide, Jerry says, I'm going back to Tulsa or Little Rock, his hometown. He's going to move the Dallas Cowboys to Little Rock unless the state of Texas, or I guess it wouldn't even be Dallas. Where would it be now? Would it be where they based? Are they based in Frisco or are they based in Arlington? I don't know. At any rate, do you think the people in Dallas would be okay with taking it up the butt with a big tax issue if it meant keeping the Cowboys here? Absolutely they would. So, nickel and dime over graft of pro ownership. Do you know how much other graft is occurring with our tax dollars? You at least in the case of the billionaires and their pro teams, at least the citizenry gets a little something out of it. I mean, they get the pride of their team, and that's important. It can't be underestimated. Okay, yeah, you're good. They had 30 years. Okay, they're fine. Anything can happen, though. I'm just saying, put yourself, try and be ecumenical in your thought process on this. Just because your team has a 30-year lease doesn't mean that you can be hypercritical of, somebody who's fearing they're going to lose their team. Although I wouldn't, this Kansas City situation, that's what we're talking about here. The Kansas City Chiefs are looking at taking an offer from Kansas City, Kansas for a new stadium and leaving Kansas City, Missouri. This is really the most digestible of all of these scenarios because, again, they're not leaving. If you're a fan of, if they do leave, they're not. Even if they leave, they're not leaving. You know what I mean? If you're a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs and you live on the Missouri side, if they move 5 miles over the border to the Kansas side, it affects you none. So you know what? Maybe if you are the business leaders and the governmental leaders there in Kansas City, Missouri, you say, yeah, fine, go. It's not going to change anything. Although then the hoteliers and the restaurants and all that will have a problem. The tourism will have a problem because I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. Actually, Kansas City, Missouri, that's the cool one, right? Let's hold on. Let's do this. Let's look at the difference. Let's look at the pictures. Kansas City, Missouri versus Kansas City, Kansas. Okay, so this is going to be Kansas City, Missouri. I mean, let's be honest. They're both Kansas City. Kansas City's not Manhattan, so. All right. So here we go. This might be good. This is very pretty. It looks like they got. Hold on. I'll share it with you. All right. So here we go. All right. That's Kansas City, Missouri. It looks nice. Okay. They got some big buildings, a downtown area. All right. Look at that. We've seen that building now. Look, there's the Chiefs logo back there. All right. Kansas City, Missouri. All right. Now let's look at Kansas City, Kansas. See what the difference is. All right, they're showing the same city. What is it to say? What the hell? I don't know. It's basically the same pictures. All right, what else is trending? Anything? Oh, damn. Oh, what is that? Try to see if there's anything else here that needs Jada Pinkett Smith is trending. Whoa, what did she do? Jada Pinkett Smith breaks her silence, promotes healing after Will Smith Chris Rock slap. Oh, really? Should we all just heal? You started this. This is all on you. And now you want us to all just get over it? I don't think so. Jada Pinkett Smith addressed the public Tuesday for the first time since husband Will Smith's now infamous slap at Chris Rock during the Academy Awards show Sunday after the comedian made a joke about her bald head. And again, her head isn't bald. There's hair on there. My head is bald. Her head is not bald. This is a season for healing, and I'm here for it, read a graphic posted to Pinkett Smith's Instagram account. Representatives for Rock have not responded to requests for comment, and he has yet to make any public statements. All right. So Jada, Queen Jada, would like us all to just get over. You started it. Fast Outdoor Food says that it's like Minneapolis and St. Paul. Makes no difference. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I don't think I've ever been to KC. I don't. JBM says, I haven't been in KC in years, but years ago, the KC side was pretty spare and all business, nightlife, etc. was in the Missouri side. That's how I understand it. Like all of the fun stuff, like if you were a tourist and you wanted to go to Kansas City, you don't go to Kansas City, Kansas. You stay in Kansas City, Missouri, because that's where they have the restaurants and the barbecue and, all that stuff that's like famous. That's in the Kansas. But they're right next to each other. They're very close. Adam says KC is awesome. I've heard that. I've heard. Actually, Fast Outdoor Food says Kansas City, Kansas sucks. Adam Reyna does not make a distinction between the two. He says Casey is awesome. I have heard both Kansas City sucks and Kansas City is awesome. I've heard both from people. I have friends who have worked in the Kansas City market. I have one friend who worked on the radio in the Kansas City market, and he hates it, can't stand it, thinks it's, just, I mean, he works in San Francisco now, so, it's probably a big difference between San Francisco and that. But then I have another friend who went to college in Kansas City, and he says he loves it. He actually loves it. So I don't know. Those are two different views. I've never been there, so all I can say on the subject is that I've never been compelled to sample that particular metropolitan area. All right, that's it. We're going to be done. We are going to be done. Please join us. Come on back tonight at 9:00 for the Pillow Talk edition of the show. Also, if you're so inclined, please help out the show. We are in the last week. These are the last couple of days. I'm going to be begging like Rachel Ziegler trying to get a seat at the Oscars. We got to try and make it this week. So if you're in any position to help support the show financially, this would be the week to drop a tip right there in the tip bucket. If you can. Oh, I can't play that song. What is that? How did that happen? I don't even have that song on any playlists. That's weird. There we go. By the way, isn't that weird? Last night, we were having a conversation with me, James, and Kelly, and James left. And as soon as James left, he apparently did something where Kelly and our conversations were garbled. I don't know what James disconnecting could have affected the way Kelly and I sounded, but I mean, we had more to say. Kelly and I were going to talk for a little bit, and then suddenly we couldn't. So this morning I woke up and I pulled up the video to see if it was true. It really did sound garbled. And it did. I don't know. I have no explanation for it. But I hope it doesn't happen anymore because James has a tendency to leave the 9 p.m. Pillow Talk show early. He just jumps out. And if this is a thing now that we're going to have to deal with, I don't know that I'm going to be able to allow James to drop out early because I can't. Just stop the show because he needs to go have sex with his wife. That's not fair to the rest of us who don't get to have sex with his wife. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Bye, everybody.